Hi, everybody. Cody from the Way of the Void here. Just hoping that you know that this is just for entertainment purposes only. We're just trying to make you giggle a little bit. It's damn near designed so you can't learn anything from it. Just keep that in mind. It's just laughs, folks.
There is no other God. Satan killed him.
Bust a rug. Cut a rug. Whatever they do.
No, yeah, it's great. Beautiful. This is Eric,
This is Cody.
and this is The Way of the Void.
Yeah.
Producer Nikki in the house.
Actually mic'd up.
Actually mic'd up. Say hello.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, say hello. Good enough. Close
Yeah.
enough.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. You intrigued me with this. You got a special energy drink?
yeah, Gorilla Mind, friend of the show.
Let me see. Oh, wow.
Yeah, there we go.
www.girlmind.com. Code Way to Void.
Ooh,
Oh, that's delicious.
that's good.
Yeah.
Damn.
Nice.
How have you been?
I've been fucking dying. Sorry if my voice is a little hoarse this time around. This past like 2 weeks, I've just been dying from allergies.
Allergies.
Jesus. It's been brutal. So my voice is a little hoarse, but I'm still here. I'm ready to be put in, coach.
Yeah, I get hit pretty hard with allergies usually. I take a daily every single day, like all year round.
When I used to work with you, I swear to God, you had like hay fever like every year.
Yeah, like super. Like I'd have
Yeah.
to like go home.
Yeah.
So luckily now I'm an office boy, so I can work from home anytime I'm feeling like shit.
God, must be so nice.
It's pretty nice. Yeah. I don't know if I would want to do it like 5 days a week.
No.
Well, yeah, I would, but but it's
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool when you have the opportunity to work from home. But not everybody can.
What's been new with you?
Let me think. Not much. I've been researching this episode. This episode in particular is a personal favor to producer Nikki.
I know.
Yeah.
A personal
I know.
favor.
He's
and
been pushing this one hard.
he's been pushing it hard for a while. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth our friendship for me to actually do this episode.
Oh, it was one of those.
I wouldn't say it's as bad as Number Stations.
I was
per
gonna
se.
ask, is it a number stations
It's-
part two?
So the thing with the Number Stations is that it's boring.
Yeah.
That I felt like the subject matter ended up being boring.
Whereas this is just dumb.
This is not boring. It's just crazy people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
My phone.
Your phone?
Yeah. This is normally the time when he checks out.
Yeah, this is what
Watch
time.
his
Yeah,
fucking YouTube
yeah, this is what
videos.
time when fucking Candy Crush started. He's like, oh fuck,
It's like, oh, fuck.
fuck, where's my Angry Birds?
Yeah. My Fruit Ninja. It's fucking.
Anyways.
Oh, you know what I did? I was pumped. Last night, I got to show the kid Starship Troopers. It was tight. She had never seen it. And I was like, have you never seen this movie? And God, it's so good.
Yeah,
It just ages better.
yeah. So, well, dude, all of that dude's movies age amazingly.
Is he fucking...
He's RoboCop.
yeah.
And like,
Striptease.
what do you say?
Oh, was it Striptease?
Oh, you mean Showgirls?
Showgirls, yes.
Yeah.
No, it was not. It's not Showgirls.
Right.
Wait, yes, it is Showgirls. Yeah. And then, the guy who wrote Showgirls is the guy that wrote, what's the movie in the 80s with the girl that's like a stripper and then she's like a fucking iron worker? Flashdance. Yeah, he wrote Flashdance. Fuck, what is his name? God damn. This is not a movie podcast, all right?
No.
So,
Greyhaven?
Verhoeven. Yeah. So friend of the show Parker, who's like Junk Food Dinner is like, and Junk Food Supper is like a movie podcast.
Right.
Those dudes are like fucking encyclopedias when it comes to like weird, obscure actor and director names. You know what I mean? Like the conversation.
We are not.
Yeah, we are not. Like I will forget fucking like everything. I will forget everything unless it's like 40K knowledge.
Yeah.
Or some Star Trek knowledge. Even though that one episode, I like couldn't figure out fucking Ensign Rose.
Oh yeah,
fucking
you
name.
just checked
Yeah,
out
I
for
like my
5 minutes.
Yeah, and I like had to look on my phone. My brain just fucking stopped fucking working.
I saw your ADHD spike up. And just
Yeah, and like I couldn't like
on it.
I couldn't like not figure out the name. Like I was like, I have to figure it out.
Yep. That's why I lean on Nicky. All right, it's me and you, Nick. He's out of the game for a minute.
Oh yeah, you do need to find your phone so you could Google stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever, fuck it.
I mean, can't we pause?
No, we can't pause.
Why?
Because it messes up the flow.
All right.
It does mess up the flow.
We need to the people need to see
What goes into this?
what goes into this.
Yeah. All right.
They need to see us in the raw.
I don't think there's much to actually look up on our phone anyways.
There's not, you know what I mean? Because it's like so. It has. God. Well,
He's also sitting at a computer. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Good.
Open a new window.
yeah. It's recording, right?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, what I've been up to, I've been researching this episode. I'll get into some of my research later on once we start. I'm playing some video games, some Hunt Showdown. I'm after 7 years of playing Hunt Showdown, I think I'm finally starting to get burned out.
Wow.
It's just hard.
Yeah,
you know
I
what I
bet.
mean? It's just kind of one of those games that's like you have to kind of be like, you have to just be on it at all times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're playing, and so
It
it's
becomes like a second job.
yeah, it's not really a game that you could kind of just like put on and like
No, fuck
zone
that.
out.
I
Nah.
need that.
Yeah, you just no. You're like,
You've been practicing all your dance moves from Kanye's new music video?
have you? Is the video on YouTube?
No.
No, I saw it on Instagram.
Is it on?
I don't think they have any.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, just clips of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's as much as you can get.
yeah. For people always complaining that Instagram is like super censored and stuff. They put some gnarly shit on there.
Yeah.
Not that I'm complaining.
No, neither am I. Yeah, dude, Brutal War videos.
Yeah.
That's a great page.
Yeah. Dude, it's funny because I have I don't know if it's hard to tell because it's like so little, but I have a hat that's like the old school rotten.com logo.
Oh yeah.
And like one of my coworkers, because I work with like a bunch of fucking like normie fucking office people, and like some like lady was like squinting her eyes and like looking at it, and she's like, "Oh, that's a cool hat. What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's an old website from the 90s." And she's like, "Which one?" And I just like changed the subject.
You're at work?
Yeah, I wear it at work.
Oh, you're rocking the rotten.com
Yeah.
at work.
Yeah. And I think the back, not that I didn't notice it, but yeah.
It says it on the back, right?
Yeah, no, it says like,
Please flush.
yeah, please flush.
Nice.
Friend of the show, Menstrual Bloodbath.
Yes.
Yeah. It's Instagram, like, memester.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's super funny, but she like came out these like rotten.com hats that are fucking sick.
Nice.
I was going to get one for Nikki, but I just got it for myself.
I just got him a sweatshirt.
You got him a sweatshirt?
Yeah, for you to work on.
Oh, so you gave me a chore.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. You
Cool.
see how I did that?
Yeah.
But I did a good thing for Nick.
I like it.
Yeah. Get to peeling.
Yeah, get to peeling. I think I'm gonna rethink that that design I did for our t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it is.
The generic space armored man.
Yeah.
It's not a space marine.
No,
It's generic.
Yeah. Heavily armored space cop.
Yep. But
Yeah, it took you a minute.
it took me a minute, and it's there's a lot of like nooks and crannies in that little drawing.
What do you
of mine.
think about doing instead?
Like a square.
Bubble letters. The logo would just be tight.
The logo would be cool. Yeah. I might just
Do a little one over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You found it. You left it in the shitter.
Yeah.
The other office.
The other
Yeah.
office.
Has he have you tagged the master bathroom yet? Or is he still fucking gatekeeping that from you?
I don't let anyone in there.
Yeah. I know.
Oh wait, the bedroom bathroom?
Yeah.
He used it today.
He did, didn't he? You got it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my boy. That's
didn't-
my boy. No
Yeah.
gatekeeping around here.
Yeah, I didn't want him to fog up the room before we started recording. Yeah.
Hot.
Hot.
Sour. What else is new?
I don't know.
You told me you're going to Reno.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Reno with the wife.
Yeah.
Next weekend.
Is it anniversary?
Nah, it's just for the fuck of it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Reno's awesome.
Dude, it's crazy because like we got 3 nights at the exact same like hotel resort thing. It's like casino, whatever.
Yeah.
We got the like exact same 3 days, and it was like $300 cheaper this year from like 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, because of our fearless leader's booming economy, nobody's going out of town, and so I guess like Vegas and like all these places are like there's like no tourism.
Oh, fuck. This isn't good?
Yeah. Well, I'm
Oh,
tired.
shit. Oh, fuck. I didn't understand. I was like, oh, prices are coming down.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was because of desperation.
Yeah, no. So prices coming down on certain things is very good, but I think
yeah.
when I think when like freight, like when freight prices drop,
Good luck,
and,
buddy.
and hotel prices drop, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Canary.
yeah. It's a little canary in the coal mine.
I was literally sitting here being like, wow, go figure. It's working.
Yeah, so pretty soon this is going to be a 5-day a week podcast
Yeah.
because we'll have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
We won't have any power,
The
but
fucking Dust Bowl 2.0. He had that podcast in California. Yeah, what do we got? Like, what do we need? Like 750,000 more people before we can monetize anything?
I think it's like once we hit
800.
yeah, once we hit 800 subscribers, like all the other metrics we already hit,
Right?
like watch time and all that stuff.
We did?
Yeah, and how many views, but you have to have
that's what's up. Thanks,
you have to
guys.
have like 1,000 subs, 800 or 1,000 subs, then you could be monetized.
Hey, shit. We got this.
Yeah, we got this.
Come on.
How long have we been doing this? Like 6-7 years?
Like months.
Yeah, we're at like fucking
Like 4 months.
50. Oh, enemy of the show, our friend Carlos.
Yeah.
Hi, Carlos.
He unsubbed from our
Wait,
YouTube.
you did?
Yeah,
Which
he said he
Carlos?
unsubbed because he was so upset about us getting the translation for the chupacabra wrong.
What do you mean wrong?
He says it's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But he didn't listen to the thing at the beginning of the show?
No, I think he's like an Andrew Tate guy, so he has enough
What
problems.
do you mean he's like an Andrew Tate guy?
Yeah, he's like bald and works out all the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sick.
yeah. So
All right.
he's a
What was he saying that what was wrong about it? First of all, the Chupacabra episode, I have to say, you're on fire. You're on fire. I won't bring up his name again, but you're fucking yeah. So what was I supposed to say?
I zoned out when he started talking.
Right.
Yeah, no, I didn't care. I told him good. I'm glad
Yeah.
he unsubbed.
Yeah,
Fuck him.
good. Yeah.
Fuck him.
Get the fuck out of here.
Please stop.
Yeah, he says he wants it. He says he wants a shout out every time we like. No, not a shout out at all. Enemy of the show.
Does he ask for those?
He does.
He
He
does,
He
doesn't
begs
he?
me. He begs me for a shout out. He's like,
No.
please. He's like, please give me a shout out. And I'm like, Carlos, come on, man. It's just like a small podcast. You know what I mean? It's just me and some buddies. It's not a big thing, you know? And then he's like, And I see him like in real life, and he's like he like grabs me by the collar, and he's like this, like
He's on his knees.
yeah, like
He's
on his
groveling.
knees, like begging me profusely for a shout out.
Here we are giving him out the
You know, I'll
every week for free.
I'll give the guy some crumbs, you know what I mean, here and there, but it's like
Right.
I can't take requests like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just because
We have a much higher standard for the shout outs over here. You got to go join the cult of Nikki over
Yeah,
there if you
yeah.
want him all the time. What's up,
if
Angie?
you want a shout out, you got to be Nikki's #1 fan, Angie.
Yeah.
You have to be the fucking human embodiment of a mongoose junior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And who
Yeah.
else do we shout out? I think that's it.
Editor Nessa, she gets it.
Editor Nessa, she gets a shout out once in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But outside of that, yeah. All right, so we lost one
yeah, we lost one.
because of the translation
Yeah.
of the chupacabra.
Yeah.
He just said it was wrong. Oh, I know what he's talking about. He was probably talking that it means goat sucker.
Yeah, he thinks it means goat sucker.
Yeah. Okay, look it up. Chupa
Everybody else
sucks.
everyone else
Cabra.
everyone
Goats.
else was saying that in the
It's
chat.
literally sucks goats. Is the literal translation of what I was saying. People say it's goat sucker.
Because that sounds better.
Yeah, because it's an identifier too.
Yeah. What do you think, Nick? What's your opinion?
I think this is a non-argument. I don't know what.
Well, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. We can't be losing fans.
I don't know why Carlos is worked up about it.
I honestly think he has some personal issues. Maybe he's a little conflicted with some of his lifestyle choices. I won't go into it. I won't get into it. But maybe he has a little guilt.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, sorry to see you go, Carlos. Anyway, I'm not. I don't know.
You don't even know him.
No. And you know what? From the sounds of things, I don't think I want to.
No.
No thanks.
But all my boys that I play Hunt Showdown with, they all listen to the podcast
Oh, good.
like on their own. Like I don't even have to like beg them to
Yeah,
listen.
you don't have to prod them.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a couple of those too. I played the last one in a conference room at work.
Like our boy Hippie Junior.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Junior listens all the time?
Yeah, Junior
So he
listens.
hears all this shit.
Oh yeah, he loves it. He said he loves it.
Good. Fucking mean little bastard.
America's sweetheart.
Mean little bastard. Where is he off to now? You told me he was traveling last time.
He went to Vietnam.
I figured he was shanghaied into the fucking sex trade.
Yeah. Yeah, he woke up in a fucking in a bathtub full of ice with an extra liver.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, oh, this guy needs one.
He thought he was in a shipping container. It was just like a tuna can.
It was a fucking lunchbox. Yeah, he just fucking tripped into a fucking Yeti cooler.
Oh no!
Nikki, that's your friend.
I know.
Why do you let us talk about your friend like this?
I don't know.
Leave him alone.
What have you been up to?
Like I said, I watched Starship Troopers again. That it fucking only gets better. Only gets better. I've been fucking dying from the allergies. Oh, dude, I got my car serviced for sorry. So those listening, I just got a new car. Like last year was the first time I've ever gotten like a new car.
G-Wagon.
Like just off the fucking lot.
Like brand spanking new.
Yeah.
How many miles were on it?
Zero.
Sick.
Well, you know, like 50
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
comes
yeah.
off of the
Yeah, yeah.
test they have to
Yeah.
do or whatever. But I had to get it serviced for the first time. And so like normally I've bought fucking shit boxes and I take them to wherever's the cheapest to get whatever the bare minimum
Yeah.
thing I need done
Yeah.
to make it fucking operational.
Past smog and shit.
Yeah, yeah. And this time it's like, oh yeah, I'll find my fucking phone alerted me. Like, hey, car needs to go to the car doctor. And you're like, oh, this is okay. And so then I just show up at Chevy, and it's my first time doing this. And they're like, all right, right over here. Just let me see your keys. You don't pay for anything.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, it's covered.
What's it, 100,000 and 5 years?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's 90,000.
Okay, 90,000. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is. But they take me to this fucking room in Watsonville, the Chevrolet Watsonville. They take me to this room, and it's got a fucking Pac-Man arcade game like the stand-up old school one, and a massage chair and a coffee bar. And they're like, it'll be about 2 hours. And I was like, this is the greatest fucking thing,
dude.
that can happen to like a married man.
Yeah.
Like on like a Tuesday. It was fucking phenomenal. No, but I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything with anybody. I don't have a vehicle, and I'm in Watsonville.
The one here in this town,
Fucking awesome. I sat in that massage chair for an hour and a half and played Pac-Man.
yeah, because
And then they handed me my fucking pristine, detailed car, and they were like, everything's good to go. I was amazed.
that's sick.
It was the fucking best.
The place here, because my car when I first bought it, it was new. It's not the case anymore.
You talking your truck, right?
Yeah, truck. Yeah, and they drive you home like in a shuttle. That's pretty sick too.
Oh,
And then
that's
and then when
tight.
it's done, they pick you up.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just drive the car out?
Well, because who's gonna? Well, I'm not gonna give him a ride home. He's
No,
like, hey,
the-
can you?
the
He's
shuttle,
like, can
yeah.
you give me a ride? Here's your car. Can I have a ride?
Yeah. It was amazing.
You know what's funny though is they actually got into a fender bender one of the times they were servicing my car.
In your car?
Yeah, we brought it home or whatever when it was done, and then like, of course, my wife noticed it like fucking instantly. Like I drove it, I like picked it up and drove it home.
You know my feelings. She's probably trying to figure out if it was her or not.
Yeah.
She's like, fuck.
And then she's like, "What the fuck's on the side of the car?" And I was like, "Look," and there's like a big old fucking scratch, like a big old paint fucking smear or whatever. And then we like called them, you know what I mean? And they're like, what? They're like kind of giving us fucking toot about it. And then they're like, well, okay, let's look at the tapes. And then they came back a couple minutes later and they're like, yeah, we definitely did that. And then so we got it like totally like fucking like they like went and took it to a body shop and shit.
Nice.
Yeah, and I remember I got a rental car for I think like a week and a half or something. And I got like a brand new like Subaru. And I was driving around in a Subaru. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it.
No?
It was okay. I like my truck, so
I've never driven one. I don't even think I've ridden in one that I can remember. Like that sticks out. A
Yeah.
Subaru.
yeah. I don't know. I like my funny little mid-sized truck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
You're up high, you know.
Yeah. So I did that. I got the car serviced. What else has been new? Oh, dude, I started rewatching all the Justice League shit. Not the movies, the cartoons.
Oh yeah. They're
That
good,
shit's
aren't they?
So good. That shit's so good. It ages like fine wine. It's so good. Just a little piece of your childhood back.
I remember there's like a famous Superman episode where he has a whole life like inside of his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a famous comic? It's an Alan Moore comic.
Okay, is it a famous comic too?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's on his birthday.
Yeah.
So on his birthday, like the comic and the episode are pretty similar, but
Yeah.
like it's like Wonder Woman and Batman are like going to the Fortress of Solitude to like see him on his birthday, and when they get there, he has this big rose thing on his chest, and that like puts him in a fucking
Coma.
like fugue state.
Yeah.
And in his mind, he's like living on Krypton, has like a wife and kids, and then he has to like give it all up. And Mongol's the one that did it to him. Mongol's tight. He's
That
one of my
fuck.
fucking favorites. You'd love him.
What's his deal?
He's fucking he owns Warworld. It's a gladiator fucking planet. He's like the head dude. He's gigantic, fucking like Hulk sized, you know, and
Love
yellow. But he's all fucking I think Ron Perlman voices him
Sick.
in the episode, yeah.
Ron Perlman, friend of the show.
But he's like fucking, you know, 12. He looks like Thanos, but like yellow.
yeah.
And his big red eyes. You'd fucking love him.
Fuck yeah.
And he just like he runs a world where he just siphons money from the citizens and keeps them distracted with these fucking gladiator death matches. So that's why he's always trying to, you know, capture Superman and make him fucking fight.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a real famous episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation when sort of the same thing happens where the Enterprise finds this like weird floating ancient satellite
Yeah.
and it like shoots a fucking weird beam and it hits like Picard, like a scan or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he like falls into a coma. And then he like wakes up and he's like on this weird alien planet. And but it's like very human. Like everyone
Yeah.
looks fucking human. And he's like, wakes up and some lady's like, "Oh, you're my husband," blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
he's like, and so anyways.
Doesn't he like have a full on? Like,
Yeah,
it's like 60 years or
yeah.
something.
So he like, he's like, you know, talks about his like spaceship and stuff like that. And everyone
Yeah.
just kind of thinks he's being silly. But then like, he kind of just gets over it. And then he like starts developing a space program on the planet, and he like ends up falling in love with the lady who's his wife. They end up having a kid. The kid grows up to be like a fucking adult. And then
Yeah.
when he's like in his like, you know, late 90s and he's dying of old age, he dies. He fucking dies of old age. And then he wakes up as Jean-Luc Picard in the Enterprise. And he's like, and it was essentially, the satellite was essentially like showing the history of what happened to their civilization.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he's just like, and it just shows him like, because he like learns how to play this flute.
Yeah.
And then you like, it just shows him being like the captain in his like bedroom or whatever, just like looking out in the window, like super fucking sad, like holding his flute.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool that there's like is like kind of a cool callback that like they do every once in a while where they show him like playing like somebody will come and like interrupt him, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and he'll be playing
and
it.
he'll be playing his
Yeah.
flute.
Having a little memory moment.
Yeah, there's actually a couple stories. I don't know if we'll get into it because, you know, whatever the fuck, I'm about to like just spoil it. But there's a couple of people that have gotten to like car accidents and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've like lived out an entire life.
Oh, in that time.
In
that
that
they were
time, yeah.
unconscious and stuff. Yeah.
I actually have a friend who went to India with his girlfriend, and he got like a crazy fever and eating some of that street food.
Dude.
He got like a fucking insane fever and
Yeah.
like started like hallucinating and like
Chicken
almost-
cut on some guy's fucking toenail.
yeah, and fell into a coma. And then he said that he met Taylor Swift. This is a fucking true. This is his true account that he met Taylor Swift,
Right.
and then they became friends, and then they started a fucking relationship together. And that he was like living with fucking Taylor Swift, and they had this entire like life together. And then
Was she like still Taylor Swift? Like
yeah,
rich as fuck? And all,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Okay.
And it was like this like, and then he said that he like woke up from his like fever.
Yeah.
And then it was like him.
It's fuck way shittier once you're awake.
him in his like normal life or whatever. And I was like,
Fuck.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? But so I know somebody personally that had
Like,
one of
I
those,
was
like-
at the top of the mountain for a minute, Eric.
yeah.
That fucking woke up.
So I know somebody personally that had one of those experiences where they lived out a whole life.
That sounds like it sucks ass.
Yeah.
Look what could have been.
Yeah, I know. He has all these like weird longing feelings of fucking Taylor Swift.
Yeah, does that like did it transfer over? So like what does he
I
see
don't
her
know.
on TV? Is he like fucking oh my
I don't know. I forget.
love?
He was like tattooing me at the time, so I was kind of like, okay, man, just finish this up.
Right.
But
Wow.
now I kind of want to pick his brain.
Yeah. I think we have our first special guest.
Special guest. Oh yeah, I've been wondering about that. Of like if we'll ever do an interview show.
I don't know. They'd have to be pretty what are we gonna like? All right.
Yeah, we're pretty spicy.
It's your studio. They'll have to come to the studio.
Yeah, that's true. They'll know where I live.
Yeah.
I don't like that one bit.
Yeah, yeah. Whoever we're gonna interview.
Because for anyone that knows me personally, knows that I don't do anything unless it's in this room.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You want to hang out? Come over.
No,
wanna-
we can do it via Discord.
Yeah, that's true.
The quality will probably look like shit, but hey.
Yeah,
You'll
that's
do
true.
mobile?
Yeah, but then we'll have to teach Cody what Discord is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not just where I get all my cool political opinions.
That's Twitter, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I could say if we're gonna do the mobile fucking dude, this boys
Discord
took us collectively like an hour to figure out the microphones
something that
just
we've been
here.
something that we've
Yeah,
been doing
yeah.
for months. We
Yeah,
still have to
yeah.
yeah.
God, that'd be a Patreon one if they could only see, ladies and gentlemen, dude. All of them, myself included. I don't offer anything to the problem.
No,
but
it's
the
just
rest
me.
of it is like
It's just-
watching fucking apes use tools for the first
Yeah,
time.
it's just me and Nikki
That's
fucking.
pretty much what's happening.
Every time.
Yeah, it's just me and Nikki looking like two monkeys trying to fuck a football.
It's just I sit behind him while they huddle up behind in front of this monitor, and that's just, I just hear the best. Is it on? Unplug it and plug it back in.
That's what fixed it.
Yeah. I'm not doubting. I'm just saying, if we're gonna take this show on the road, we probably need to iron out
Hey, what
how
is
we
it?
do it here first.
What's that line from Anchorman? 60% of the time, it works 100% of the time.
Yeah, good one.
Thanks.
Nice, good pull. What else been new with you?
Fucking jack shit, man. I've just been working a bunch, which is a nightmare.
Yeah,
Which is fine. Just office work.
and you've been deep in this topic.
I've been super deep in this topic. Yeah. Well, what are we at right now, Nick?
30 minutes.
Should we
30 minutes of bullshitting.
30 minutes of bullshitting?
I don't know. I was racking my brain trying to think of fucking dudes that have slimmed down over the years from their buff status, just to fucking see what your thoughts are.
Yeah,
on it.
it's hard to gauge what gets me worked up.
It really is. I didn't know I was stepping into it with that one.
Yeah, that one got me fucking worked up. The Batman got, and it's funny too because I'm not even a big Batman fan.
No. You're
That
a
got me
Hulk
fucking.
guy.
Yeah, I'm a Hulk guy. Dude, if they fucking try that shit with the Hulk,
They did.
oh yeah, they did. They turned him into a fucking nerd.
They turned him into a nerd and a pussy.
As much as I like that,
I teased you about that a long time ago, but you didn't even it didn't really phase you, or you tried to ignore it or something.
He locked it deep inside.
Yeah.
Believe me.
it's crazy because back in the day, I used to love those Marvel movies. Big old dork, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We used to go like opening fucking
Yeah.
weekend, like every single one.
Yeah.
And then Endgame, which is like one of the best ones.
It should have ended there.
But they totally like fucking castrated the fucking Hulk in
Yeah.
that one. Like he was just like
Yeah.
not tough guy.
I'm surprised you're taking it well right now.
I wash my hands of it.
It's dead, but to you.
Yeah, definitely. The comics have definitely killed it off too.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that way too. They do shit now, and I'm like, normally I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Because that happened to me with the Flash. Like I saw that steaming pile of shit,
Mm-hmm.
and it just wants to fucking fuck everything up that I love. But I weirdly didn't feel upset by it. I was just like, yeah, of course they fucking did.
Yeah.
MODOK upset me. I didn't even watch that movie.
Oh,
Which one is he? Oh, he's in Ant-Man.
yeah.
Huh?
Man,
And it's like-
why did you even bother putting MODOK in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't do it, it's the weirdest character to fuck with.
Yeah.
And what I don't understand did he have? As far as I know, MODOK's always been like an X-Men character.
I think he's like a.
Weird.
I think he's like a Fantastic Four
I think
thing.
it's Fantastic Four as well.
Yeah, I'll just say Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I don't remember any crossover with that guy.
It was weird because I think it was the villain from the first movie that got sucked into the what is it called? The tiny zone. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, the quantum.
Yeah,
zone.
he got sucked into the quantum zone. tiny zone. That's also the fucking name of our other podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I just like rant about fucking
Wrestling.
wrestling to tiny zone. But yeah, he gets sucked into the quantum zone, and then that guy is the one who gets turned into MODOK.
Right.
Yes, and then
Why they did that?
I don't know. Disney, they're really good at
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
tarnishing fucking IPs, I guess.
Right. Right. Did you see the thing where they somebody made I guess there's been a pull to make the fucking Warhammer shit that's coming out, the Henry Cavill fucking show. There's a pull to make that more
Accessible.
accessible or whatever. And so I get the word on the street is that it came from somebody that isn't just some dude on Twitter.
Yeah.
But there's a graphic that was released of just one of those big ass fucking Imperial cruisers going through one of the Starship.
Yeah.
One of the Star Wars ones, like the Imperial
Well,
battle cruisers.
40K.
yeah, PETA went after 40K. Good fucking luck.
For what?
Space Wolves?
Space Wolves. Yeah. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Just because they're always wearing animal pelts and shit.
They're what? They're not.
Yeah.
It's not a real animal pellet.
There's a
What the fuck are you talking about?
There's a conspiracy that PETA is actually like
weird.
that funded by like the meat industry, and they try to make like vegans and animal rights people look so crazy.
Oh,
that it, like,
real fucking stretch.
That
Like
turns people
CIA
off to it.
type
Yeah, like CIA
Yeah,
stuff.
Okay, but there's not like real fur.
Yeah.
They're made up wolves on made up soldiers in
Yeah.
a made up land. There's no cruelty.
Implied.
Implied.
What?
Implied. They're. I think that what they're implying is that it's like it's making people comfortable with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, by putting it in our popular culture.
We've been comfortable with it since we lived in caves. What are you talking? What the fuck are you babbling about?
Uh-oh.
This. You planned this, didn't you? You did this so you'd get under my skin.
Yeah, so
you're
you
trying
could-
to get me back. Yeah,
so you could get into fall into hysterics.
Jesus fucking Christ. I get like, okay, 'cause some celebrity wears like a fur coat or whatever. Which, by the way, how do they like? They must hate. Well, yeah, but I was thinking about it. Like Kid Rock's been rocking fucking straight up like mink coats for fucking 30 years, just in their face, and they never seem to mention that guy.
That's true.
You think he'd be like target number one?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So the fake wolf fur
Yeah,
that
the fake
doesn't it doesn't even actually exist like fake on the models. It's plastic. I don't understand.
You don't have to. You just have to be mad.
Dude, that's like getting mad at fucking Tarzan because he wears like a loincloth made of animal skin.
They probably
Like it's a fake fucking character
They probably
with fake
do.
animal skin.
They probably do not like Tarzan.
Yeah, well,
You know, what are you gonna do?
hey. All right, I've been mentally preparing for what you're about to launch on me.
God, I forgot it's my episode. All right, let's get
Just
into
remember your dinner for Nikki.
it. I am due. That's why this week's episode is the conspiracy theory of the Mud Flood. Because I'm going to put the title right there.
I gotcha.
Yeah. And so the Mud Flood essentially is a conspiracy that at some point there was a natural or man-made disaster that destroyed the majority of civilization with a massive flood. And it liquefied the dirt and it covered everything in a layer of mud. But the funny thing about this conspiracy is that it is the mud flood conspiracy, but it has little to nothing to do with an actual mud flood.
You just said that it's because of that's based off of a disaster of a flood.
Yeah, but the specific mud flood conspiracy,
Right.
what it actually talks about is a ancient, worldwide spanning, highly technologically advanced civilization called the Tartarian Empire. So anytime somebody is the Mud Flood and the Tartarian Empire are like linked. They're the same conspiracy.
Gotcha. Okay. So the mud floods what took out the Tartarians.
Yes.
And it could have been made by them. It could have been a natural disaster. Is
Well-
where we're standing right now.
Where we're standing right now.
Okay.
We'll kind of get into it, but before we get into it, I just want to tell you a list of things that this conspiracy talks about.
Okay. Lay it on me.
Giants,
Sick.
star forts,
Sick.
free energy, psychic energy,
Sick.
sound energy,
Sick.
telekinesis,
Rad.
all old buildings with domes were actually energy collecting devices.
Okay.
Genghis Khan was white. The Aryan race is the true start of the civilization.
Okay. Whoa. Back up.
Yeah.
You took a left turn there.
Yeah.
They were all pretty sick.
Yeah.
And pretty fucking cool.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to the Genghis Khan one. What was that one again?
So apparently
There's gonna be a lot of that.
there's going to be a lot of that because
A lot of what?
one of the things
The
is,
stopping and then having to
having
let
to.
yourself.
Yeah.
So the main thing that you have to understand about this conspiracy is that it is not one conspiracy. It's a bunch of different conspiracies wrapped up into this, and every single person that talks about this conspiracy touches on different things.
Okay.
So you will get some of the very oh wait, hold on. I'm not even done with this list.
Yeah, I want to
Okay, the Aryan race is the actually true start of civilization. It didn't start in Africa or the
Yeah,
Middle
it's another
East.
problematic one.
The Christian religion was actually made up in the 1700s.
Okay.
Let's see. Rome and Greek civilizations and cultures are fake. Swastikas
Here we go.
are actually Tartarian imagery. Let's see. All Gilded Age buildings are actually thousands of years old, and they're Tartarian buildings. The Middle Ages never happened. The industrial revolution is fake. All history books are fake.
Well, that was all right. That's like
World War I and World War II were actually planned projects to demolish Tartarian architecture. And all major cities in the world, including the United States, are actually ancient Tartarian strongholds.
really,
Yeah.
really. That's a legit one. All major cities.
Every single one.
Okay. You fucking been to Miami?
They talk about Florida a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I add one to that?
Of course.
Oh, I forgot. We have an acolyte in the building
I'm not. I actually try to stay away from this as much as possible.
because you
Good
know
call.
it'll seduce you.
2
Good
weeks
call.
ago, I saw a thumbnail saying like what started it, why it happened, and that video did actually not tell you why
Nope.
it started or how it happened. But
I know.
they did.
I hate when that
They
happens.
did go into
The
churches.
plumber
a
never
little bit.
fixes the
Yeah.
sink.
They talked about churches and cathedrals.
Yep.
Okay.
Being very high, tall.
Right.
So they
Right.
understand why, or they do, but it's not because of reaching God. And the sound projection, and talking to people like Eric was talking about.
Right. The acoustics in
The
there.
acoustics. They didn't. Those things weren't part of why churches existed.
Okay.
So they don't know. I don't know. If you're
That-
just thinking about it, because I know a little about churches, and those are the reasons why.
Yeah, they're so
Those are
big
the
and
two
tall.
Yeah.
So one guy can actually hold a sermon and reach everybody in the back, and
Right.
so that
and
shows
then
your devotion to
as high
God.
as possible, because God.
You guys have really found a real frustrating motherfucking humdinger one for me today, haven't you? Wow. All right.
Yeah, this one's wild. So let's get into the Tartarian Empire a little bit.
You guys are gonna get to see me lose my fucking shit.
So
From
what this-
frustration on your Monday morning.
So what this theory supposes is that there's a few old maps that say that they actually have Tartaria and Tartarian Empire on some of these ancient maps.
Okay.
And it's usually all of Siberia, northern Russia, northern China, and it kind of like creeps into a little bit of like Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
And so that
Movie bad guy country.
yeah, movie bad guy country. So that whole region at some point on maps were called Tartaria. And so people have looked at these maps.
How old are we talking about? The maps like that you're talking about.
That's
Really old.
very old.
Okay.
So that's also another
Before Christ, fucking
no. Like during
1300s, those years that don't exist apparently.
pretty much during the time that don't exist. Yeah, the
Middle Ages.
The Middle
Same thing,
Ages, yeah.
Tennessee, California is
So
an
part
island,
of this
stuff like that.
conspiracy, just so I'm not fucking fucked up here.
Yeah.
they're looking at maps from a time
Yep.
that they claim didn't happen.
Yes.
Then how are they looking at them? You know what? You know what? I'm not going to rise to it. I'm going to be the bigger man here. I'm going to let you explain it to me.
There's no explaining. So, So, I will get into a little bit of history. I am not a historian. I just like history. I get a lot of like names and dates wrong, so it's like
Before we move on, are there like key players in this? Like, are there like people that really, is there like a David Icke of the Mud Flood
yes and no.
conspiracy?
So
Like, is this all just accumulations from like Reddit and Twitter?
yeah,
kind of a
so
thing, or?
Different YouTubers.
Okay.
I did a check on Google. There's this website where you could check when the very first time something was searched on the internet. You know what I mean? So you could like look
For real?
Yeah, like so you could look up like somebody's like name and you could see like, oh, the first time that they were searched on the internet was like in like the 90s or like the early 2000s, stuff like that. The first time this the Tartarian Empire conspiracy theory as a whole was Googled. Guess.
2023.
2012.
2012. All right. It's older than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is
Yeah.
so it's very new. It's a very new conspiracy.
Okay.
And there's a couple of books that kind of touch
But that's just when it was first looked like Googled, though.
yeah,
So it
there's
could have existed before that.
there's a book. Fuck, I forget if I wrote it down or not.
Self-published.
Yeah, there's a
Nikki.
in the 70s there was like a Russian mathematician and he wrote a book and I think it's called like the true history or the true chronologically or whatever. You know what I mean? And chronology, yeah. It's called like the true chronology.
Right.
And that one kind of supposes it's a very like Russia oriented thing, you know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
it's like saying that like I think it's a very like Russian nationalistic thing where they're kind of like trying to like reclaim their old empire. And so they push back and they say like Christianity's fake and a lot of this other stuff and that like Christianity was like and the Roman and Greek empires were like made up and that like the true birthplace of civilization was in Russia. And I think that's
when did this book come out?
in the 70s. And they don't really talk about Tartaria, but like a lot of the Tartarian kind of stuff gets like lumped into that.
Because I remember hearing about Tartaria before any of this.
So this is like the Madame Blavatsky roots, right? How Madame Blavatsky's bullshit was later on, it was taken and used to create like what was then
Spiritualism
Nazism.
now.
It was Nazism.
Yeah. Oh,
It's what Adolf Hitler based all his bullshit on was this lady Madame Blavatsky shit. That's what's kind of happening here.
Oh, and
This dude wrote a book back in the 70s, and now these kooks found it, and we're like, see?
we'll probably
Yeah.
we'll probably end up doing an episode on it, but like the whole like Vrul Society.
Yeah.
So the
We know Thule, too, right?
yeah. So that stuff is also lumped into this too.
Yeah, well, that's all the Madame Blavatsky
Yeah.
shit. That's what first tinged me off whenever the Aryans get involved. 'Cause
Anytime
she's the one that came up with that shit.
Yeah. Anytime the Aryan stuff gets involved, it's like
Blavatsky's close.
yeah. So there's a lot of those fingerprints
Little
on this shit.
babushka.
So it's really hard because this weird conspiracy is like there's only two types of videos that talk about this. It's usually a anthropologist or a historian or like a like a history oriented YouTube channel. You know what I mean? That is like these people are completely full of shit and
Yeah.
fucking dumb as fuck. Or it's like a fucking 3-hour long video talking about the Mud Flood where they mention the Mud Flood for like fucking 2.5 seconds and then start talking about all this wacky history shit. Which I'm doing as well.
Yeah.
Because like,
There's a difference, though.
yes.
I bet you I could name some key points to the second video. I'm guessing that it's usually in somebody's room. There's like a naked light bulb hanging from the ceiling, right? It's just some dude sitting, talking obviously into his phone. being like, yeah, and that's when the Russians were actually, that's how those videos go.
I also have to be like, we also have to be very careful
Why?
with not mentioning any of these people, because apparently these people are very copyright strike happy.
Okay.
Like anyone that's like very critical of this theory, like their minions go and like fucking start harassing them.
Oh, fucking bring it.
Yeah, I don't.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Fucking-
we'll see.
You can start another channel pretty easily.
Yeah, we'll see. No,
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm
Dude.
I'm itching for the controversy.
We're gonna get in trouble with the fucking Mud Flod dorks.
Yeah, and so I will say this conspiracy has no through line. It has no timeline. There's no start or end to it. So it's like you guys could totally ask me questions and interrupt me because it's like this conspiracy literally fucking is all over the fucking place.
I remember hearing about Tartaria at some point in time being like more or less kind of like Lemuria or like
Yes.
baby Atlantis.
Yeah, yeah.
That's about as far as I heard.
So I watched
Oscar Blavatsky shit.
a video where pretty much saying that the three empires of the ancient world were Tartaria,
Lemuria,
and Atlantis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then
Yeah. It's a super common one with aliens too.
Yeah. There's a lot of ancient alien stuff mixed in with this.
Yeah.
Because,
With the outer rings of Atlantis, like they think that it was shaped like a ring. They always do that shit.
so there's some very like history oriented people that talk about this, you know what I mean? That kind of talk about the, a true empire, and it's mostly kind of like Eastern European, Russian, and like the Mongols kind of like all lumped in together. And that one's okay. It's kind of maybe plausible. And then they also talk about how like the Mongols and Genghis Khan were white, and that all the art that you see of Genghis Khan is actually Chinese art.
Okay.
So there's that. And so actually back in the day when people first started bumping into the Mongol Empire, they used to call them Tartars.
Right.
And I think that means like horse rider or like horse scout, something like
horse
that.
warrior or something
And
like that.
so
Yeah, they were
people-
known for it.
Yeah, people called them the Tartars.
Okay.
And so on maps, people would put Tartar or Tartaria. You know what I mean? So like they started putting
For
that,
like their area that they
their
inhabited.
area. You know what I mean? And so that's these maps that these people are looking at. And
That's the basis for these ancient
and
maps.
essentially, so like I also watched another historian lady. Her name is like Mia something, and she really explained it very well. And she essentially said that
God forbid we give her
like-
credit. Mia something.
Mia something. I forget her name. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll put a clip of her fucking
You're
video.
a fucking treasure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
When these people are confronted with the fact that like when we have like Mongol like remains, like bodies, and so we've done like we know that they're not fucking white.
They claim that they're all red haired.
Okay.
And they say that all these ancient paintings of especially the Mongols and like the Mongol royal family, like the Khans,
Yeah.
they're all red haired. And then somebody went in and made their hair black. And I guess there's some evidence that people have like seen ones that have like had the paint stripped and there's red hair underneath it.
Okay.
So that's one of the cover ups that they talk about. But anyways, so
the Chinese are erasing the
yes,
history?
the Chinese are erasing white history.
Dude, everybody's thirsty for the fucking white history, it seems like.
They were doing that
Yeah.
back in the day. Huh?
Yeah.
Erasing around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so this Mia person, she kind of supposes that there's the Silk Road, and then there's China and India and Russia, and then everything up north, there's not really any trade. And essentially to England, because this is a very European-centric conspiracy, like it's all like based on European maps and stuff like that, that they didn't really give a fuck about Siberia and like northern China. You know what I mean? And so instead of like sending out expeditions to try to like map these places out, they're just like, oh, that's Tartaria. And so they kind of just like fill in the blank until modern cartography.
So that's the story of the maps.
That's
like all these people are fucking referencing.
Yes, that's essentially the story of the maps.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about the maps real quick.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's talk about like this what some of these people suppose the Tartarian Empire was. So
Let's talk about the Aryans being the birth of civilization.
yeah, that's also
I think that one could use some fucking clarification.
I think we'll eventually stumble upon that. No,
yeah, kind of, you know.
kind of smell that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's this mud flood theory too. Is very. I didn't know that stuff was part of it, but it's very American.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very like it's pretty anti-Semitic. You know what I mean? Like they mention the parasite class in it, rewriting history, and you know, I won't get super into that, but I'm not saying that these people are anti-Semitic, but this theory kind of smells like it to me a little bit. You know what I mean? Especially a lot of the whole Aryan fucking you know, the birthplace of civilization is actually like white.
Yeah. Again, why or how?
Well, okay, so how is that civilization started in Tartaria, and the Tartarian Empire is actually the one that expanded across the globe.
Okay.
And so anyway, so they're saying that Tartaria was from northern Russia, all Siberia, Europe. They colonized Europe, and then they even colonized the Americas. And they built these giant megalithic structures that were, they have like a certain type of architecture. So if you look at, I'm not an architect.
Are you asking me?
I'm not an architect. Are you an architect?
No.
So anyways, so
You know what? Fuck it. Yeah. Yeah.
so
We're dealing with Tartarian architecture. Yeah, I can fill in.
and they're saying that like the pyramids were built by the Tartarians, and that most built like all buildings that look like pyramids are Tartarian, and that
I didn't even know this.
and that this was a highly advanced civilization, that they had free energy, and that
Those are the pyramids, I assume.
yeah, and that
And the dome buildings. Energy
yeah.
collectors. Yeah.
yeah, and that they're a race of giants, and they also get into
But are they giants? Because I kind of saw the giants, but they're with them or something.
Most of the
Yeah.
time, well, there's different ones. Like most of the time, the Aryans are considered big, but not
They kind of talk
giants.
about the giants hanging out with them, like
Yeah.
mingling or something.
Yeah, and then they also show a lot of like old photos of like these big giant like Cossack looking dudes next to a normal person, and they're saying that those are like Tartarian photography. And the fucking zaniest thing about this entire conspiracy
Oh,
is
we haven't gotten there yet.
no. Okay,
Okay.
I'll just touch on it because this whole thing is like all over the fucking place. So I'll just get into it. So this giant worldwide flood that destroyed this advanced civilization,
Yeah.
and you know, us talking about it. When do you suppose this happened in history?
The flood?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. (1968).
1850.
Damn! I was close. I was within like 100 years.
Yeah.
Fuck. Mm-hmm. So we had this big ass flood and then the Civil War. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And the Civil War most likely was a planned project to destroy Tartarian monuments. So this is where
Fucking take our statues, Nikki.
this is one of this is one of the things that kind of is weird to me, and kind of there's a few things that contradict itself within the conspiracy.
Fuck, a few.
But so one of the theories is that the world wars were actually projects to destroy Tartarian architecture, but then they
The
also
veterans love that.
they also say that a lot of these buildings were actually Tartarian and that we moved into them. So I was like, well, which one is it? Are they destroying them or are we moving into them?
Well, wouldn't it be? We did move into them, and then they wanted to get rid of them, so they started the world wars.
Yeah, I guess so. There
Right.
you go. Huh? Proof right
Yeah.
there.
You're
Proof.
winning me over.
So one of the things I heard about the churches is like their antennas
Yes.
to make the liquefaction to cause the
Okay,
flood,
so I'll get into this shit.
which
I'll get
didn't
into this
understand
because
either.
I watched this one video of this fucking lady, this like British lady talking, was fucking nuts. She was essentially saying that that Tartaria
Friend of the
used
show.
free energy and that they use sonic sound energy to levitate things, that they had like flying machines, and that they were a very
What's this lady do?
I don't know, but she had about like 15 fucking filters on her face.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always funny that like the people who are usually coming up with this whole fucking conspiracies about other energy sources and stuff don't know shit about energy or energy sources. I think that's
So that
pertinent to the story.
that's essentially
it's
what-
never like an
There's
astrophysicist
a lot
on there
of
being
things
like blah blah blah.
immediately.
So that's actually what Nikki was kind of touching on, is that like that's one of the beliefs, is that ancient star forts, pyramids, and a lot of these ancient buildings with like big domed steeples and stuff like that, and like most churches with like giant steeples, that they
Yeah.
are actually energy collecting devices, and that that it was free energy that was collected in the atmosphere.
Sick.
So that's the answer to your question.
Zero science, zero math, nothing. Just
Well,
Yeah, if you know a little bit about churches and architecture, you know they're made to get
Yeah.
as high as possible to
Yeah.
to God. That's
Yeah.
it's infuriating because that's like the most basic bullshit that you get. Yeah, of course. It's humans.
where do the basement windows come in? That's the one I'm really.
That's
We'll get
what
into that.
Interested in
We'll
that.
get into that.
First smell, because that's just really mean. Your basement windows, yeah, basements need
Yeah.
light
So-
or ventilation sometimes. Whatever.
Yeah.
So let me see. Where the fuck am I? This is all over. the
You're
place.
fucking in the goddamn void right now.
Yeah.
You're all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
You
there's
were
no.
talking about the energy collecting devices.
Yeah,
The pyramids.
and that this this society used sound resonance and all this other stuff, and that was kind of like the base of their energy and like the base of like how like things are like created and stuff like that.
Right.
Like essentially what they're saying is that these people would like use like spoken word and shit to like build buildings,
Yeah.
and so
It's funny too. It's funny that, all the fucking super technologically advanced, tall building energy collectors, yet they still fucking use black and white photography. All right.
well, that's our society.
But you said it was there. No, I'm talking about the photos that they were like, no, that's Tartarian photography.
No,
You're
well,
like,
they're
why does it look like shit then?
no, they're saying that yeah, I'll get into it.
Yeah.
So that's what this, advanced civilization sort of encompasses. And a disaster happened, the Mud Flood happened, and essentially destroyed the majority of their civilization, and that there was a group of elite, powerful families, like yeah,
Here we go.
yeah,
Here,
like,
this is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
so-
can smell it from you. You were right, Nikki. Your fucking hackles go
Yeah.
up as soon.
and so there's a group of elite families and secret societies,
A lot of Bergs and Steens.
Rothschilds.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm guessing. Yeah. There it
That-
is. There's that anti-Semitism.
That once the empire fell, they essentially like recolonize the world.
They seize control.
They
of
seize
shit.
they seize control.
Yeah.
And the
They
whole
took all the gold, too.
and the whole thing is that this was essentially them trying to take away the free energy.
Ooh.
And it's the reason why we like pay for gas and we use all that stuff is because these people came in and hid the free energy from us.
Yeah.
You know what also is very upsetting about this thing?
But it's super. That's actually the part of this that is least concerning, or not like least interesting, because that's like you can find so many of these fucking
Well, that's what's upsetting to me.
conspiracies and shit on Reddit or Twitter that you're just like, this is the dumbest shit. Like this is just another like of the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, big time.
But like it. What are you showing me?
Read this. This is just an old screen grab I got. Of the chat.
Oh, these are the chats on one of these videos.
Oh, it's funny.
Leonardo da Vinci, wouldn't he probably be a giant because most of his works were on ceilings?
Go on. Keep looking.
The turbine from the nuclear power station looks like a jet engine. My great granddad was installing steam engines in ships in 1836 in Middlesbrough, England. Some as the works you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, you show you more. I'll get some more. There's a lot of that.
We might post them in the photos.
But like that's the kind of shit he's like, dude. Okay, one, what they're referencing is probably the Sistine Chapel. That was not Leonardo da Vinci. It was Michelangelo.
Yeah.
It's like that ceiling is probably what they're talking about. So no, Leonardo da Vinci's works were not mostly on ceilings.
Scalpel.
Oh, you got more. How many of these do you have?
This is just two. The videos actually look at the chats. You look at any of these videos.
I was born in 1960 in a small city in Massachusetts. I remember walking by buildings in my neighborhood that had the top part of the windows peeking out from under the ground. It really stood out to me as unusual. A half century later, this topic pops up. Wow. He's talking about basement. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me get into it.
Okay.
You
Don't
can
look at. He's wanting me to look at
I
shit.
know.
What do you want me to do?
Stop reading Nikki's diary.
This is the best one. This is the best one. This is the last one.
Jesus fucking Christ. Let me see this.
Last one.
Let him see it.
Is this a shirtless picture of me? Here, read it.
Yeah.
You can read it.
Okay. This is the last one from Nikki's little fucking
Detective work.
dossier.
Dream
yes.
journal.
I showed some of the old world photos to my 83-year-old mother, asking her about them. She became so angry. I was shocked. She refused to talk about them. I have no idea or understanding why she reacted this way. It was as if she was upset that I discovered the truth. Has anyone else had reactions like this? Okay. Yeah. She's upset because her granddaughter's a fucking dipshit.
Response?
My grandmother had an elusive reaction to me asking her about her history. The mentality was not to question anything for any reason. The consequences were pretty severe from that time frame.
Whoa. So,
just imagine being grandma, dude. I'd be so fucking pissed too.
Yeah, this is like his grandma's like, I survived the fucking Dust Bowl just for
Dude,
my
I would go
grand-"
beat the living shit out of my kid because obviously you failed fucking raising one yourself, dude. The grandkids are fucked.
So, where the fuck was I?
Oh, you were talking about
Sound energy,
Dave
right?
Bautista's fucking slimming physique.
I'd rather talk about that. So essentially, the mud flood happens, and there's a couple theories of how the mud flood could have happened. I will get into those theories now. One is that that they quote unquote the parasite class took the Tartarian sound weapons and used it against them, and that they essentially liquefied the ground with sound energy, and it sank all of the civilization, and that it destroyed their civilization. Sound weapons. There's another theory of that the atmosphere was actually liquid, and that's how the Great Flood happened. Is that that something popped it or whatever, and somehow all the liquid just fell onto the world. That's one of the theories.
We didn't have oceans till that ozone layer started getting holes.
And then one of the theories is actually from a book and a author, and Nikki is gonna like this one because I know he likes this sort of shit. Is that there is a author and his name is Chan Thomas, and he has a book from the 50s called The Adam and Eve Story.
Hold up. You just mentioned his name, and this motherfucker perked right up like a puppy.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I started. This is a catastrophe cycle type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what Chan, thank you. So what Chan Thomas proposes is that that civilization always rebuilds itself, and then a natural disaster happens about every 10,000 years, and then a great reset happens, and that the remnants of society rebuild, and then it gets to a certain point, and then this disaster happens again, and it's a cycle. And all great civilizations go through this cycle. And what he says is that inside the Earth's core is essentially a giant, like, liquid ball of iron or like liquid metal, and that it kind of revolves around, like rotates with the Earth's rotation.
Okay.
And that every 10,000 years it will flip, and what it does is it changes the magnetic poles of the world. And so when the poles will shift, it will essentially lock the Earth's rotation for a day or two. And just the Earth's rotation being stopped for a day, the atmosphere and all the oceans move with it, and it essentially just like blankets the world with water and like tornadoes and stuff like that.
So they're using the old theory where you're on the back seat of the car and your dad slams on the brakes.
Yeah.
Fucking the whole ocean.
And so
it shifts over.
That's essentially what this book supposes.
Right.
And that is another theory of how the Tartarian Empire could have fallen.
Okay.
And so essentially what this entire theory is that a great civilization fell, and our civilization was built on their apocalypse, on the backs of their civilization.
Right.
And
it's recent.
And it's very recent. And that the people in power are eradicating and erasing the history because they don't want us to know the true origins of their technology.
How the fuck did you get through this one?
Let me list off.
How the fuck did you research this?
That's very good. Because I didn't even know the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why they're so elusive on why it happened or who did it. Or
It's hard. It's hard because
they don't ever mention that.
Because a lot of people, it's hard because it's very hard to get a boiled down.
Right, because you're taking horse shit from 19 different fucking insane people, and schizophrenics and shit.
So that blurb that I just said is essentially the gist of what this story is.
Wow.
And let me just give you a list of names of buildings that are actually Tartarian buildings.
I can't wait for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Empire State's definitely on there.
I didn't put it on there.
I didn't know if it's mentioned. I didn't mention it.
But these are the notable ones that I put. All star forts that around the world.
What the fuck is that?
So a star fort is essentially a ocean or like a fort that's like on the like near a bay. You know what I mean? Like
They're inland too.
They're inland too. But it's so essentially there's a pattern of fort that we used to build called a star fort.
Okay.
And essentially what it is, it does look like a star sort formation, and that shape was developed because of cannon fire.
All defenses
Yeah.
then lead to star forts.
Yeah, so it's like if you build a square fort or a castle, you could obviously destroy one of the sides
main walls.
with
Yeah.
exactly. But if you build everything like
With ridges,
at
yeah.
ridges and points,
It's stronger,
you can't
and there's less surface area.
exactly.
To aim for.
So that's how this shape
View and stuff like that.
shape came about. Star forts. So all star forts are fake. The 1915 World's Fair held in
This
San
is
Francisco.
One of the very first videos I saw, they were talking about the World's Fair.
The World's
They
Fair.
mentioned the Mud Flood, but I think they're talking about I don't even know what they're talking about. But
So-
like the World's Fair, I know the World's Fair was built because of plaster.
Hold the microphone.
Yeah, hold the microphone if you're gonna rant.
Hold the microphone.
I know the World's Fair was made and built on plaster because that's when plaster first came out. And so you have all these people that are like confusing plaster with like marble and shit. And you're like, I know the World's Fair is weird.
I'm sorry about last week
I
because I know how it feels now. Like you're trying to break me,
yeah.
and
There's so
it doesn't
much
feel
that-
good.
that-
I
that-
apologize.
So let me
Scratch the surface and it's bizarre.
okay.
Jesus
So
Christ.
let me get into the World's Fair stuff. So if you look at old photos of all the World's Fair, you see these giant, grandiose buildings with massive pillars and massive domes. And most of these World Fairs were only around for like a year or two, and then all the buildings were destroyed. And so what the people are theorizing is that these buildings,
The Olympics.
these buildings were too grand and too big and expensive to build and then just to destroy. So what they're theorizing is that they're actually ancient Tartarian buildings that were a controlled demolition, and that there's old photos of them, and they made up the World's Fair to say that that's what these pictures are. Okay, that was the World's Fair. So, the Eiffel Tower, the Hong Kong and Shanghai.
Well, Eiffel Tower is obviously is like an energy collector.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. The Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank, Tartarian.
Gotcha.
The Chicago Federal Building, Tartarian.
100%.
The Chicago World's Fair in 1893,
Come on.
Tartarian.
Tartarian. All the way.
The St. Paul Cathedral in London.
Obviously, that's number one.
The Singer Building in New York, New
Get
York.
the fuck out of here, dude. Tartarian as fuck.
The Masonic Temple in Southside Chicago.
There it is. Tartarian as shit.
The Cathedral of Christ in Ukraine.
It's Cathedral of Tartar.
Multiple buildings in San Francisco. And multiple buildings in Florida, up and down the coast.
Yeah, obviously.
And pretty much any building that you see with ornate pillars is actually Tartarian.
Gotcha. Persians are pissed. They're like, nah, dude, that's our shit.
I started thinking like, what about like the Native Americans and?
I was thinking, where's the church land in all this?
So that's actually very interesting. So the theory is that the I don't know. But okay, so the theory is that the Christian religion is actually made up and it was forced upon us. Can you close that? Can you close that window in the bathroom? Yeah. Is that the Catholic Church rewrote history and made all this stuff up. Yeah. So it's weird
Okay.
because this theory is very anti-Catholic and it's also very anti-Jewish, Hebrew mythology and stuff like that. So it's like
But you know what it does love? Santa.
yeah. And so it's just weird because it's like, so what they're supposing is that essentially every nation in the world, the Jewish faith, the Catholic Christian faith, and the Islamic faith are all in on this conspiracy because we know that all of those things get along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they
Super
cooperate.
well.
I think this is why I thought it was very Americanism or America whatever centric because you don't really hear about
Yeah.
anybody else
And
or
so-
even acknowledging them that they're even around.
Yeah, and so let's touch on the thing that you guys like so much is the basement, the basement windows. So a lot of this comes from TikTok and Reddit of people going to old buildings and they see windows that are kind of halfway into the street, and essentially what they're saying is that our society is built on like layers and layers of mud, and that we dug all these buildings out, that we did not build them.
But not all the way.
No, not all the way. And that there's a lot of old photos of basements and what looks to be windows underneath the ground. And so people are supposing that they just got lazy and didn't dig it all the way out. And they left a lot of this stuff, but I guess ancient and old scaffolding and like not cement. What do they call that? Foundations. Like old foundations are like logs and shit like that into the ground. And I guess to the untrained eye, if you're looking at an old photo, it looks like the side of a building. It looks like windows.
Right.
And so these people are saying that that all these buildings are actually these massive skyscrapers that are buried in the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest shit I've sat through in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The dumbest shit.
Well, it's just hard because researching this one, it's like it's all over the fucking place. It's like, there's no.
It's a bunch of fucking mentally ill people on TikTok.
There's
QAnon.
It's like QAnon shit. It's like
it's so weird. It's
I was wondering when the Q boys were gonna show up.
I think this is where they went.
oh,
Yeah,
actually,
dude.
fuck. Let me get into it too. So
Get into
so,
what? You don't know about it.
No,
Nobody
I'm
gonna
just
catch
saying,
me in my
it feels
kings.
like that. It's like
So
you feel like a bunch. Yeah, it feels like QAnon.
Yeah.
So they also talk about some wild shit too. So during the Great Reset, they talk about cloning, orphan trains, and reprogramming orphans. So essentially,
What's an orphan train?
So essentially, what it is, they're getting children that were abandoned in Tartaria because the Mud Flood killed everybody except a bunch of kids, and that there's trains and trains filled with little kids.
Trains.
And
Again, super advanced technological empire, and they're fucking running trains.
it's 1800s.
Like Snowpiercer.
So our society is not technically advanced.
Yeah.
So our shitty, not technically advanced civilization just took over their
Put the kids in trains.
put the kids in trains to fill up the cities. And what they suppose is that the what's it called? The Industrial Revolution was not actually what you think it is. The Industrial Revolution is actually the great migration of people moving into the abandoned Tartarian cities. And that's how you explain the
Right. They have no
giant-
fucking clue how long the Industrial Revolution, like what period of time that represents. They think it was like a fucking weekend.
Who says it wasn't?
History.
You mean the history books that?
Getting upset like that, guys.
You mean the history books that are made up, that are covering this all up? Are those the history books you're talking about?
Yes, those are the fucking ones I'm talking about.
Counterfeit.
Yeah.
Fake news?
Fake news.
Every history book is fake news.
Fuck. So that's what they just cover their bases by fucking X-naying every other piece of evidence that can come against it. They're just like, nah, that's fake.
Yeah, so essentially that's what it is. That there's a couple. There's like this really big flag. I've been trying to find it, and it was like it's like this giant two-headed eagle.
It's the blue one, right?
No,
No?
it's like this really cool flag. It's like a giant two-headed eagle, and in its wings is every European, like an Eastern European and Russian like nation's flag. And one of the flags in there is a yellow flag with a dragon on it that says Tartaria. And so that's one of the reasons why people were like, oh, see, Tartarian was a part of like nations.
Okay.
I will add this too before we wrap up. At some point
This shit's so dumb it's hard to make fun of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
This
yeah.
shit's so fucking retarded. It's hard to fucking map down a point to be like,
upset,
haha.
it's upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing.
Like a motherfucker. This is what you've been diving into all
no,
night?
I didn't. Because I tried again because I couldn't tell what the hell they're saying.
Why do you think he acts like this?
Fuck,
I was like,
dude. It makes a lot more sense now.
Hey, Eric, do you know what this is?
Hold the microphone. Hold the microphone. Hold the
That's why I
fucking
said-
microphone. God damn it.
It's so upsetting. Yeah, it's upsetting. Like a little bit you know about anything, they talk about it a little bit, and you're like, but this, let it be windows and basements, or
No, hold the microphone
or
close to your
architecture.
mouth.
It could be anything.
No, he's doing fine. He's doing great.
It could be anything. It's just anything you know a little bit of that they talk about a little bit. You're like, but this, and then
Yeah.
it's like a rabbit hole. Of
It's
settings.
fucking
Yeah.
infuriating.
Yeah, it is.
I can't imagine what the actual like scientific community I'd fucking tee off. I know they got science shit to do, so they probably can't all the time, but I'd be teeing off on them online every
Well,
fucking day.
I know that
Every fucking day I would terrorize them.
I know that the scientific community is like hates like that Graham Hancock dude and all that like
Yeah, he's
ancient-
like the watermark on the Sphinx guy.
yeah
That's like his
and
big
so,
one, right?
Like I couldn't and like this.
I bet they latched onto his shit hard.
I'll put it like this. I'm like this theory makes the fucking flat Earth shit seem normal. Well, I wouldn't go that far as normal, but they're.
They seem like birds of a feather, honestly.
There is a lot of that kind of stuff like like linked in there too.
Right. Flat Earth and Hollow Earth, and like it seems like they'd get along like fucking peas on carrots.
So there's a lot of these old photos of incubators from like the 20s and shit and 30s, and those
for like premature babies.
yeah,
and stuff.
and so these Tartarian people say that those are actually cloning tubes. And that it was a cloning program to rebuild our civilization. God, because we didn't have enough people to have babies. You know what I mean? So like the majority of our ancestors are actually just clones.
I remember being at dinner one time, and I remember somebody, I can't remember who, it was one of my fucking family members, but I remember them trying to they were telling some fucking yarn or whatever, but one of the things was they were saying that hamburgers are called that because they used to be made out of ham, and I remember losing my shit and just being like, no, dude, they're from Hamburg, Germany. And they were just like, it might have, I don't know, it might have been my mom, but I remember like, that's what this entire thing feels like.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like somebody just like woke up one day and they're like, hamburgers, you know why they're called that? Because they used to be made out of ham. You know,
And
in
also
the
this,
20s.
also that, and this and that.
And then you have somebody that like actually read something and is like, no, you fuck nut. They're fucking from Hamburg, Germany. But they're like, no, I don't know if you know, Hamburg didn't exist. It's
Yeah.
fake. It's all fake. If you look at the pictures, the black and white photos from the super exam.
So there's
race.
another kind of layer to this too. Is that I believe it was in the 50s or 60s. It was during the Red Scare. The CIA had a report on the USSR and Russia, and they're saying how dangerous it was for Russia and the Communist Party to be eradicating and rewriting their history to like, you know, to put Russia in like a better light and stuff like that. And they also specifically said, and the eradication of the Tartarian Empire in history.
Okay. So the CIA was like, okay, there's a report, supposedly a real report. Do we have the copy of the report?
Me personally?
No, I mean, can you get one? Like, have you seen it?
I don't know.
That's another one. That's just
Somebody said it. They talk about this a lot in some of the videos. I'll try to find
you
it.
found your grandpa's old fucking screenplay in an attic, and just because it was typed on a typewriter,
I'll try to
you
find it.
took it as fucking fact.
I'll try to find it and put it up in the.
This shit's
pictures.
aggravating as fuck.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
This shit's aggravating as fuck because you kind of want to know about them. They sound like a cool fucking Warhammer sect, the Tartarians.
Yeah.
But you want to know more about it, and they're just like, yeah, they had really tall buildings that collected energy. I don't know what else you want.
The Tartars, it's yellow with like
A dragon on it.
yellow with a white dragon.
Yeah, I think I put it on the Instagram.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking
Yeah.
about. Where I had I think it's a blue one, isn't it?
No, it's yellow.
No, the dragon.
It's black.
Oh. Jesus.
Yeah, this one was a hard one to
How many of
research.
these fucking videos did you go through?
I've been watching probably about 2 hours worth of videos every day since last weekend.
The video these people make are long. They're like
Yeah.
2 hours long.
They're never, no, because they're never going to be straight to the point.
There's
Right.
this.
You have to have their entire fucking childhood and their fucking, all of their bullshit before they get to their point.
There's
which
this-
they don't have.
One of the one person that I saw the video of. Their name is Mia.
No, don't do it.
Where's my?
I thought you said they're real fucking trigger happy.
No.
Don't do it.
No, she's one of the normal people talking about Tartaria.
She's talking shit.
Yeah, she's talking shit.
Way to go, Mia. I'm on your side. You got one over here. We'll take them on together. They're not even nerds.
Her name is Mia Mulder,
Way to go, Mia Mulder.
and I believe she's a historian or something like that.
Good for you. You fucking read a book and did a thing.
And then
Not like these fucking dipshits.
There's another
basement windows.
There's another guy that I really enjoy his videos. His name is the Lore Lodge is the channel, and he is like a historian, and he kind of like dissects one of these videos. Like pretty much, he asked his he went on Reddit to the Tartarian like subreddit and said, "Hey, I want to do a video about that best explains this Tartarian thing." So I think he watched a guy, and this is the guy that is spicy. I guess the guy's name is like Mine Unlimited, and he's the one that like had like a really long video breaking down this theory. And so like pretty much this dude Lore Lodge for beat just like goes and says like explains what really happened in history and like what really is like going on.
Way to go.
And just like completely like
it pissed him off to no end.
yeah, I think he like tried to hit him with a content strike or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like but he like for beat like was like debunking like all this fucking shit, and he's like an actual historian that like actually has like knowledge about this stuff.
Yeah.
And you think you're frustrated? Imagine somebody that like actually knows what the fuck they're
you must
talking
be
about.
pissed.
Yeah.
You must be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Imagine like you did all the college, you learned all the stuff, and then this just absolute moron happens to come across a cathedral,
I have a couple theories about
and it's just too much for him.
I have a couple theories about some of this stuff. Is that, you know, it's not lost on us that people in charge, governments lie to us. You know what I mean? And I feel like our modern society is a very distrusting society,
Yeah.
rightfully so.
Yeah.
You know, and I also think that a lot of these people look at these old photos and they see these giant, grand buildings and how ornate the buildings were, you know, and they look at it in a modern lens, you know. And the thing is that in our modern society, things are not really built to last forever, you know, and that building materials are very inexpensive compared to when they were, you know? So like, I believe, you know, if you get this giant marble, you know, fucking giant piece of marble and you like start carving a pillar out of it, you're going to make it beautiful and ornate, and you're going to like work on it for a really long time.
Right.
And cause nowadays they just fucking throw plaster up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people look at this stuff from back in the day and they just like can't fathom people in horse and buggies, quote unquote, building these things.
It's funny. I have a different take on it. I feel like these people look at the sun while eating paint chips. It's my fucking take.
Well,
When I first started like figuring out what the fuck these people are actually crazy, I started thinking like this is a good way to put them on, get the list going. Just watch list of everybody in there. Subscribe to this fucking theory.
Oh, you took it a bit further. You're like the government's like keep an eye on these people.
Shit, this is a good one to note.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, there's probably gonna be some kind of weird secret society hate group that comes out of this.
Yeah. No, you remind me of a cult.
Yeah.
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 Wild.
Hey, the Mud Flod boys, we might want to keep some tabs on them. They're probably gonna try to blow up a fucking government building here pretty soon.
I don't know, man. They sound like pretty pliable people.
Yeah.
Voters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's just kind of my theory, is that I just think that a lot of these people are looking at old photography in a with a modern eyesight, and they just kind of can't really fathom us doing something like that.
Right.
Because we kind of can't do it nowadays.
No.
And it's not because we can't do it, it's because we won't do it.
Fair enough.
And it's we have the capabilities of building that sort of shit, but it's,
of course,
but it's just, I don't know. It has to do with funding now.
Well, humanity's priorities naturally change too.
Yeah.
You're talking about a lot of these buildings that you're talking about are religious buildings and stuff. That's lost a lot of. It's not the center of the fucking cultural world anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's still pretty big and stuff. But now, I would say just as easily you could point at other pieces of architecture that are modern that are like, oh yeah, like, okay. Something that's just as grandiose, it's just our priorities have changed. Now we build like international space stations.
Well,
and fucking
Nikki touched on it earlier because, one of the things that they often bring up a lot of the times is the World's Fair, and how these World's Fairs were built only for this one event. I think they're like usually like a year or two long.
Right.
And people can't fathom that they built all this shit for just like a limited time. But in our modern society, we have the Olympics every 2 years. And if you watch these videos of like,
and we build a full-on city.
what do they call it? If you look at
Olympic Village.
If you look at the Olympic Village of like Brazil, it's like a fucking completely dilapidated. I think one of the only countries that still utilizes their Olympic Village is China, and I think that they retrofitted it into like some other government building.
Right,
you know what I mean? But most of these, like, dude, we're gonna have the fucking Olympics in LA pretty soon, and they fucking burned down half the city to get that thing done.
Hey,
Tartarian
architecture they're trying to get rid of.
Allegedly.
Do that now.
Allegedly.
Wasn't the World's Fair just a big commercial anyways?
Yeah, essentially that's
pretty much.
that's what it was. Yeah, I think it sounded really cool because like it sounded like that was like the first place they ever like had soda at.
Yeah,
and like
all
all
kinds of
this
stuff.
like
it sounds dope back in the day. It's
and-
probably dope now because
and-
they still do that. Like all those like fucking. It looks like it sucks actually now, but like all those like fucking Bill Gates dancing on the stage.
Yeah,
that's basically the World's Fair now.
Yeah,
in modern time.
Yeah.
You get those like tech guys that just want to show off their new thing. Steve Jobs comes out with his little fucking the iPod, whatever. Like that kind of shit is taking its place now.
Yeah, it's very commercialized now.
All right.
So,
well, it makes a lot more sense that they're avoiding the reason why if the undesirables are the ones that did it to everybody.
Yeah,
that's what they won't come out and say.
Yeah, that's
the parasite class.
They call it the parasite class, and that's very that has a lot of weird connotations to it wrapped up in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You smell what they're cooking.
Oh, I smell exactly what they're fucking cooking. But out of all the shit that we talk about, this one seems a little far-fetched to me.
Yeah, just a bit.
Well, the thing is with this one, I think what it is like I think it's a lot of I think it's just a lot of conspiracies wrapped up into one conspiracy.
You're well. All right, if we're actually trying to nail this down in a serious sense, it's a lot of people that are making conclusions.
Yeah.
On top of each other.
Yes.
That makes the snowball effect of bullshit. Right. They're just they take whatever they can.
Yeah.
They label it as their evidence. And then when somebody else can come out and be like, no. Like that's why we have this fucking thing at the beginning of the show of me fucking telling you. Like because there's probably a bunch of shit I got wrong. I probably flat out lied to you. But guess what? It's entertainment. It's not supposed to be your fucking history lecture.
No.
So I think it's a bunch of people that kind of like, that's the other part of this too, is that this is a bunch of people that you can fucking smell the loneliness.
Oh yeah.
You can smell it.
Yeah.
And like everybody has a voice now because of our fucking phones and shit and social media. And you have to have something to say, you know? And if you don't, then you're fucking weirdo. And so these people just all band together and their bullshit starts pinballing off each other.
Yeah.
And you get these fucking wild ass tales based on a couple of old topographical maps and fucking
And a bunch of old photos.
a bunch of old photos that are probably like a mildly tall guy
These
next
photos
to
are
like a
incredibly bad Photoshop stuff.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
some like there's some. I'll try to find it, but there's like some photos of blimps getting like giant steeples of like the Washington Monument and shit like that, like pulling it up, and they're like, see, these were actually built by like air fucking craft, and it's like
Yeah, you need a lot of
the
AI
worst
stuff.
Photoshop I've ever seen. You know,
AI stuff I saw on Twitter.
super, yeah, a bunch of AI shit. I don't know. I usually kind of give a lot of conspiracy stuff the benefit of the doubt because I find a lot of this stuff entertaining. This one, not so much. I don't really find this one entertaining because I feel like a lot of the people that are kind of like really, really like hardcore believers of this are like just kind of insufferable, and they just like just don't want to look at history. You know, like I feel like the whole modern, like all history is like fabricated and made up. I feel like it's just kind of a cop out.
of course,
You know?
it's the only way to make your theory work.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just like a huge cop out. I you know what I mean? Because like just saying like Charlemagne is fake in the fucking. Have you heard of the phantom time theory? So the phantom time theory is like a
Fuck,
century-
there's more.
yeah, there's more.
No, this is different.
This is a different theory. I kind of didn't want to touch on it because I might turn this into an episode. But so essentially the phantom time theory is that like the Holy Roman Emperor Otto II essentially wanted to be the emperor during the year 1000. So he essentially like in the 700 AD like added 300 more years so he would be the emperor during like the new millennium or whatever the fuck.
This is Dark Ages stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he essentially had a bunch of people like fabricate like they say Charlemagne was like fabricated, and that like all of the Middle Ages, and essentially it sounds to me like the kind of the changeover from like the pagan religion to Christianity over Europe, essentially like all that like time period was fabricated, and then just like they just like made everyone Christian. You know what I mean? They just made all the countries Christian all at once, and that like the slow kind of crawl of Christianity through Europe didn't really happen, and that the Middle Ages are all made up.
Sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the phantom time theory.
Oh, okay, makes sense. 100%.
And so, you know, history's made up. It's a cop out, I feel.
Yeah. No shit.
And I, you know, it just also sucks too, because people that are actually really interested in history and fascinated by it, it's like actual history and like is actually fascinating and like really interesting. And like, you don't really need to make up these fanciful stories to make it interesting,
No.
you know?
No.
And that's the mud flood theory.
Sick. What are we at?
Yeah. What are we at?
An hour 45.
Holy fuck.
Might do some editing on this one.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck it. I'm going to let it ride.
God damn.
I feel like you with that Enoch episode.
Yeah.
This, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Researching
It's
it.
fucking tough to get through.
This one
There's
was
a bunch of bullshit coming at you from all angles.
This one was a hard one to get through because it didn't have a through line. It's
No.
not. There's no narrative to it. There's no story. So it's like
It's just once fucking Meredith fucking Snakebite 84 gets done uploading her horse shit, that's when you get to take over with Chuck.
Go on Twitter,
fucking
look at Mud Flod, and go
Chuck
on YouTube,
QAnon
YouTube
Rules
up.
87
Lob it out
gets
there.
on there and he starts with his bullshit and you're just supposed to make the jump.
should we call it and go get some coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go get a treat.
Well, this was a fun one.
You are all dumber for having listened to this.
Yeah, for sure.
Holy shit.
I'm glad I researched it though.
I'm glad you did too.
My
Nikki was trying to sell this on me at one point too after you didn't seem like you were
This was a
taking the
legit
bait.
question. This was like I really didn't know what these people were trying to say. Like,
Nobody does, Nick. They're fucking loons.
So this is a
Yeah.
this one was a fun one for me to well, I wouldn't say fun. It was a lot of quote unquote work to kind of get through because this is a conspiracy theory that me and Nicholas have been fascinated by, but I've never really delved into it. And now
You wish you hadn't.
No, I'm glad I dissected it, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that I got through as much as I could get through. And I feel like I put a nice little bow on it to really boil it down to what it was. Is that I don't give a fuck. Okay, let's call it.
special thanks to Carlos and Junior. Friends of the
Yes,
show.
special thanks to Carlos, enemy.
I
of the
thought
show.
he's not a friend of the show
He's
anymore.
enemy of the show.
Yeah, enemy of the show
If you
now.
got this way far through it, you'd be a friend.
What?
Yeah, if
You got
he
this far
if
through
he
the
if
episode.
he struggles
If
through
he
this
hears
episode,
this-
if he gets through this episode, he's our friend again.
Oh, is he? Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. Well, yeah, and any listeners that have any suggestions, just put it in the comments on YouTube if you want. We'll get through it. We'll spitball it. We'll turn it into an episode.
I know, dude. The Enoch one was bad. Just reach out to me, dude. Our friend Josh.
No, really?
Yeah, and he was like, you guys should do a series
On what?
on the Book of Enoch.
Oh,
like, you should do
dude.
a whole multiple series on it. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, dude.
I have a buddy Logan who I grew up with who he's really into that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I glossed over a fuckload of it.
Yeah,
but
because
that shit is so goddamn mind.
Because there's so many weird intersecting like different like
God
things that
damn.
you could get into. Like, dude,
Yeah.
you could just like talk about one of the like the angels in that story and make a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's call it. Let's go get some coffee.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks. Let's tune in next week because it's gonna be a good one. I'm pumped.
Like, subscribe.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, folks.
All right. Later.